hope now that obviously with the men's team now looking for a new manager and the women's team, the search still goes on. I think someone made a very important point. Now with the two managers' jobs being vacant, you would hope now that the FAI don't all of a sudden step up and look for the search for the new manager, because now that Ireland Leeson and Stephen Kenny, the face of the FAI, the face of the Irish football is sort of gone. The focus now will turn to the FAI board and themselves. And you would fear that all of a sudden new managers are put in. Where for the men's, I think Stephen Kenny's already gone about 2 weeks. I think 2 weeks today, I think when they announced his contract was run out and they weren't renewing it. You would hope now that all of a sudden those jobs are filled. With the women's, obviously, it's been going since August. And with the men's, it's only 2 weeks, as I said. Now, you would hope that they would put in the work into getting the new managers, where a lot of managers on the men's side have said they'll take a call from the FAI. To be honest with you, I don't really know what the shortlist for the FAI is. Normally, when a job is vacant, a few names, like the men's, has been put around. Like, for example, Neil Lennon and Lee Carsley and Sam Allardyce and Gus Poyet and stuff like that has been mentioned by people in the media. I haven't heard of people about who's the running and riders for the vacant women's job. Normally, you would have a suspicion like the top three. These are the ones that are going for the job. These are the ones that are interested. I have to be honest with you, I haven't really heard anything.
To follow up that point, I'm very disappointed, but maybe not surprised. We called the professional sports journalist last August. I won't say they were calling for Vera Pauw to be not to be reappointed, but I can tell you they weren't shedding many tears when their contract wasn't renewed. And now they've all gone silent. As the man says, the show moves on, the next show in town moves on, and there's no talk about it. So I'm not surprised,
Yeah, well, there was talk there that would Ireland Leeson change her mind and go for the job if she was asked by the FAI. Now, I saw interviews with Ireland Leeson. I think by the looks of it, she's happy in her role. I think she's more into the development of football and with women in Irish football. I think she's been involved with Irish football for 30 years. She wants to continue that work. There's been a talk of would she really go for the job. I think, to be honest with Paul, she's happy just doing this temporary caretaker manager, interim manager as they call it now. And her 6 matches, she's got a great record, and she's really enjoyed the role. But I think long term, I just get the feeling she's going to step away from it. So maybe that was an option the FAI might have had, but if they could have convinced her, but she probably is happy in the role she's in. So the new manager search continues. So it's a tricky one. I thought I heard somewhere where they wanted a new manager in by Christmas. I mean, there's only less than 20 days to Christmas now, so it's going to be in the new year. Like you said, January, the FAI really have to get on with it. Like, they've had plenty of time.
And I hope the pressure comes on the FAI. There's the same sports journalists who are very quick to question Vera Pauw. I hope now they turn their attention to the FAI if coming to the first week of January in the new year. But they're not.
Yeah. But as I said, Paul, you would just hope though that now that this run of games is over, it's a lot of positivity about Irish football in terms of on the field, particularly with the women's team, and obviously with the men's team is a bit more of a downer. But as I said earlier on, you would hope now that all of a sudden the FAI themselves become the face. Jonathan Hill becomes the face of the FAI now, because obviously he'd be asked a lot more questions because Stephen Kenny's not there and Ireland Leeson ain't there no more. So the FAI themselves are going to be the ones that are going to be asked for interviews. The FAI board are going to be the ones that are going to be questioned about, well, what's the story now with Irish football? Who's in the running for that job? You would hope that, like, obviously there is probably work on in the background. Contacts have probably been made for the men and women's managers' jobs, but sometimes, Paul, you do get hints when a new manager is coming in, or you have an idea. Like, for example, the late Terry Venables was in the running for the job for the men's team at Trapattoni. You would have something where these are the ones that are looking at, are interested in the job, and these are what the FAI are narrowing it down to. If you get me, you'd be shortlisted, and then top 3 would be your ones that you think you're gonna go for. Like in the past with Jack Charlton, Bob Paisley, and I think it was Ian Toohey. They're the ones favourite for the job, and then Jack Charlton got the job. You just don't have any. You have no idea who exactly the FAI are looking for, particularly in the women's job. Like off the top of my head, Paul, I couldn't give you a name.
Yeah. I wonder when they look across to England. Sorry, Noel.
They probably will. They will.
the English women's professional league, the Premier League in England for women, the professional league. I'm sure there might be managers there. Maybe they might be in contact with one of them. You never know, and they're just waiting for an opportunity for them, maybe either to be licked from the English club or just approach them with it. You know.
Yeah, it's a good job, Paul. Like, because the Republic right now in League A, their rankings have gone up an awful lot in the last year. So it's been a fantastic year for women. Like, obviously for the controversies, and I'm not going to go into that all. But I'm just talking like first World Cup appearance. You know, obviously the results didn't go as well as we'd hoped. We got our first point, first goal. The Nations League, we got 6 wins. We got promotions to League A. I think, as I said earlier on, we scored, I think, something like 18 goals, if I stand corrected on that one, if I'm wrong. And he's conceded 2 goals. The team is in good form. We're coming. A lot of young players are coming through. There's other players
it's
there as well.
I suppose that's what you're trying to say. It's an upper
That's
curve.
what I'm trying to say. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. And it's a good job for a good coach to come in, because there's good high chances. Now, I know you said not to get too ahead of ourselves, but we're in a good position ranking wise for the qualifiers for Euro 2025. We'd be one of the favourites underneath the top seeds to at least get a. Well, I think we're guaranteed a playoff before the qualifiers even happen. So I think we're in a good spot for Euro 25. We'll take it one game at a time, you say, because as you said yourself one time, we can't get too far ahead. Just take it game by game and progress as we are. I just think it's a very, very good job to take now. And I'm sure a lot of coaches are interested. It's just that we just don't know who is interested at the moment with the women's team. We don't hear enough about it.
Yeah, no, I suppose the only thing, all coaches and managers are now professionals, so it all depends what money's on the table too. But again, I share your concern that the FAI now might put the women's team on the back burner. They might come under a bit of pressure. The men's team, new manager will be more high profile, and that's my big concern. And I said it last August in a podcast. People can go back and listen to this. It was grand enough renewing the contract of the previous manager, but unless you had an idea where you were going to go, or maybe again we have to give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe that things can work in the background, but all we can talk about what we see. So I definitely by January there's going to have to come on fearless pressure, and I will be publicly calling on the sports journalists who were very vocal last August in the mainstream media, particularly professional sports journalists. I hope they know that they turn their attention back to this issue again to know why isn't there a permanent manager if we go into the month of January and there's nothing happening with that. So just your final comment before we finish up.
Yeah, the fear I have, Paul, is what something I think it was something I think it was Richie said on RT, where the focus there was on the FAI and what's been happening with the finances and all that stuff, and people are going to be digging more into it. And the only way to take the pressure off the FAI board and the chief executive is to appoint a new manager, where that becomes the talking point, if you get me. Where all of a sudden, you know, they do it quickly with the men's team, for example. They do much quicker, where they do a short list, say who's interested in the job, and then they just go and appoint that manager, and that takes the issue off the FAI, the board, and the financial situation and what's been going on, and everything that's been has gone on for the last year, where things haven't been run right by the FAI, and all of a sudden the board become the issue. So if you look at it, I would hope they take their time at least with the men's team, because it's already been 2 weeks literally since Stevie Kenny left. With the women's team, I agree with you. It's been months now where we have an interim manager. She said she's interested in the job long term. They've had surely should have been doing background work, and now surely in the early year 2024 they're going to have a new manager in. If not, then you would question what they've been doing. But you would hope then, or that a new manager for both teams would be done by, because the men's have friendlies in March. I'm not sure about the women's team now, but you would hope by early next year that both vacancies would be filled and we can move on, and stuff on the field will be talked about more than the back.